Good morning, Tony Virtue speaking, Virtue and Partners with our regular monthly update as we come towards year end so quickly. So a busy few weeks ahead as we plan maybe maximising superannuation contributions. I know a number of you have got margin loans, so we'll be looking at options there. And also probably some opportunities to buy and sell a few shares just before year end, just to get the what we call bread and buttering there. Not a bad year as it looks, still a few weeks to go. And some of our specific stock, CSL did very well, Flight Centre did very well. So in general, not a bad run. News of the day at the moment is our friends over in Italy. And this is not a news story. The short version of this is that they had an election in March and the anti-establishment parties of the left and the right have got together to try and form a government based on very low tax and a lot of government debt, which didn't please the bond market. So in the short term, Italian bond rates have gone up. Historically, they've been very closely linked to the German bonds, so really there's a sort of inherent guarantee that the rest of Europe would bail them out. So look, at the end of the day, there'll be probably another election. There's been a few of those since the Second World War, and they'll probably be told to pull their head in. And at the end of the day, I think common sense will prevail there. But in the short term, there's a bit of an arbitrage, and this might drag on for a little while, using other people's money, of course. In my opinion, what is of greater significance is countries we deal with in our region. Interestingly, the main Chinese market in Shanghai will begin to join the MSCI, which is the global index, in a month's time. Now, over time, that will increase, and that will mean that increasingly international fund managers will hold more Chinese shares. To give you a guide, the Shanghai market is the second largest in the world. So this could impact on things and get a bit more price discovery, a bit more accuracy in what's happening there. But for good or for bad, as a country, we are closely linked to China, and that will impact on our own success or failure going forward. But so far so good up there, and I think it's important we don't chase shadows. The reality is that Australia is doing well. It is the fourth largest superannuation market in the world. Per capita, it's the largest per person, and as the graph shows there, we have people retiring with assets between 350 to 550,000 on average, including their home. So we are getting to a critical mass where people can live off the income stream in retirement. This is a very important part of the practice now. One of the announcements in the federal budget a couple of weeks ago was the reintroduction of the deferred annuity, or the annuity market, whereby if you give a certain amount of money to an insurer for a guaranteed rate of return for the rest of your life, only 60% of that will be included in the asset and income test for Centrelink purposes. This will make it much more attractive for clients to hold an annuity rather than a fixed interest equivalent in an allocated pension, which would have the same effect from an earnings point of view, but would reduce the amount of money you get from Centrelink. So with the reintroduction of these annuities, that will provide some greater options for retirees. Currently, irrespective of how your money is invested, above a threshold there is a deeming of 3.25%, and we're not getting that in cash rates at the moment, as you know, from the local banks. So this should be a positive for us, and it should mean then that we can de-risk portfolios, both from a sequential risk that we invest at the wrong time, and from a longevity risk that the money lasts as long as we're on the planet. So this is a positive, and we'll be looking to individually advise affected clients on that over the next period of time. So let's get through year end. We'll be working Saturdays and Thursday nights to see as many of you as possible. There'll be numerous functions for you to stay in touch with us, and I look forward to seeing you as we come through year end. Best wishes, Tony.